Slander. Oral communication of false and malicious statements that damage the reputation of another. A false and malicious statement or report about somebody. But see, here's the thing. If you say something that's true and it damages their reputation, then that's just fact checking. So today, I'm going to be giving my argument on why I think Jiraiya is a bum.
So, I will give him his pros. I'll give him his flowers, right? I'll start with the good stuff before I get into why I think Jiraiya is a bum. Why I think Jiraiya is not all the hype. There we go. That's how I'm going to phrase that. Why I don't think Jiraiya is all the hype. He taught Minato. He taught Naruto. He was a Toad Sage. He scared Itachi off to the point where he didn't want to fight. He taught Yagiko, Nagato, and Konan, and he had a spy network and has a wide and varied jutsu list. So, before I go any further, because I know I'm going to say something and people are going to be upset, I will, again, give him props. He had a very wide jutsu list. Like, every time we get to see him fight, it's always very interesting. He has good combat sense, and he's invaluable in a fight. He's competent. He's a competent shinobi, and he's a great fighter. I don't think he's a good unit, for Konoha, but he is a great fighter. And if Minato wasn't touched by him at all in the heart, I mean, he touched Minato's heart. He touched Nagato's heart. And he passed on his Nindo to the both of them. Well, he passed on his Nindo to Nagato and Naruto, not so much Minato. I did not hear that man talk about peace at all. But I did hear Minato talk about a disabled village, so I don't think that's quite the same thing. But he inspired Minato, Nagato, and Naruto. He is one of the few sage characters we see in the entire series, which is very rare. I think it's just Hashirama, him, Minato, and Naruto, right? Oh, and Madara. Yeah. That ever managed Sage mode. And he did scare Itachi. That is very important. I know people are gonna say that Itachi could have fought Jiraiya off as much as he wanted, but he fought 3 pains and he won. So I don't think Itachi is scaling anywhere close to pain. So he won that fight. If he were to fight Kisame and Itachi, he would have won. So now that I've given him his flowers and I've recognized his accomplishments and achievements, I can get into what I'm actually trying to talk about. So I'm going to start with his weakest thing, first of all, right? He does not have a real spy network. Like, remember how I was talking about Itachi and Kisame? I brought that up specifically because Jiraiya asks to teach Naruto and then says he needs to teach him how to watch his back. And then as soon as he takes him out of the village, Itachi and Kisame just pull up. If Jiraiya actually had a spy network like he claims to have, how did they get in there with not a single report or anybody knowing or him telling anybody? He doesn't have a spy network, or he has a really bad one. And it's even worse when Itachi and Kisame pull up on Naruto. Like, within the next couple of days or day. Like, I thought you had a spy network. Are you telling me none of your spies saw them walking into the same town you went to? Are you serious? He's talking about, yeah, I gotta take him out so that way Naruto will be safer. He's in more danger now out of the village with you than when he was there. Although, he probably would have gotten shanked if you left him in the village, so hey, props to that, I guess. So, I think his real spy network was what's the best brothel, who's got the biggest booties, and where are the best strip clubs and underground places that he can visit. So, I think that's what his spy network mostly consisted of, which is crazy, but yeah. And I guess I'll start off with the next thing, it's like his legacy is that he talks about peace, but he always talks about it so little that you could actually call it negligible. Like, he'll talk to Naruto about peace for maybe one flashback, and maybe one flashback with Nagato, right? You know what the rest of the stuff he's talking to Naruto about? Butts and booty. Oh wait, boobies. Butts and boobies. He's not talking about anything else. I don't think he paid attention to Jiraiya's actual speech if he thought that was what he was talking about. He carries a lot of guilt about his role in, like, the war and stuff, but that does not amount to him being a good unit for Konoha. I'm sorry, but if you're a teacher and then you abandon your students to teach 3 orphans in the middle of a war that you just left, and then you left those orphans because, getting a little too close with being responsible, congratulations. You have now proved yourself to be a highly irresponsible man. What happened to his other 2 students? Is Minato just the only one that survived because they didn't have a sensei to look out for them? Yeah, good job. That's real peaceful right there. Your 2 students are dead or unknown, and then your other 3 students managed to land a hit on you after teaching them for 3 years, and then that's when you said, "Yep, you're good. I don't need to teach you anything else. You got it." I'm not even saying stay with them forever, but like, give them like an address where they can send you some letters. Tell them how they can contact you. What are we doing here? His network is fake. He's not benefiting anybody with it. So Konoha's not benefiting from it because the one time his information came through, he went to go fight Pain and then died and then sent back information on the back of a frog, and nobody knew what that was talking about. Pain literally had to come in and wreck the leaf before Naruto knew what was going on. How do you have a spy network and it amounts to absolutely nothing? How are you a teacher that teaches peace and yet you're talking about butts and boobs 90% of the time? And the other 10% is literally just, yeah, you got it, figure it out. I'm trying to write this book. What? So we'll get into Naruto. Naruto is his own section, but I wanted to briefly touch on Minato and the Ame kids because that to me was crazy. So the next one is that and this is kind of like an attach-on point, but he leaves behind people and Konoha whenever it suits him because I guess he feels guilty. But then he's also willing to tell Tsunade that he's going to kill her if she helps Orochimaru. Yeah, you love Konoha so much that you left during a war that they were going on with another nation, and then you're never in the village. But Tsunade's thinking about helping her friend, who is a terrorist, mind you, who has done terrible things. And then you're gonna say you're gonna kill her? Okay. Alright. What did you do for Konoha? You're just very highly ranked in the system. You don't actually do anything for that village. You're not there. You don't have a good spy system. You don't stay with the people you teach. I think Naruto was the only one you actually bothered to stick around for, and that was because he was vulnerable in a village that hated him. What? Naruto is his own section. We'll get to Naruto. This is just a tangent, but what did he actually accomplish? Being an author is a very big accomplishment. I'm never going to take that away from it because that is actually very hard to do. So, author. Anything else? Oh, that's right. To the next point, this weaves it in beautifully. He's a violent sex offender. I don't know what you would call a peeping Tom. People on the internet seem to think that this is something funny, or they like to dismiss it as, oh, it was another time, or, oh, it's only something that's, meant to show that he's a goofball, or, oh, it's not that big a deal. Let me run by this scenario for you, right? You're in the bathroom taking a shower. You think you have your privacy, but suddenly you feel eyes on you. you get this uneasy feeling. You look around, but you don't see anybody. You just feel uncomfortable. You go through your whole routine of washing, drying, and getting ready, and then you leave out, but you feel as though something's been taken away from you, like you've been violated. That is the sensation of someone who is somewhat aware that they've been peeped on. Everyone likes to think that this is not that big a deal, but imagine actually having that situation happen to you. Suddenly it's not so funny. Suddenly it's not just, oh, a different time, right? You don't have to be in the Heian era or the Meiji era, or if you're in America, you don't have to be in the Deep South during the Civil War or the Great War with Britain to know that if you peep on somebody when they're naked or undressed in a vulnerable position, it's pretty messed up and it's not, it's a violating thing. I don't have to, you don't have to say that out loud, but the amount of people that try to minimize his actions is something that's just comic relief. All right, where's the joke? Who's laughing? What is funny about a grown ass man peeping on women and children, because it's a public bathhouse. It's women and children at for his own pleasure, so he can make his books. Dude, there are magazines. You have VCR. Go watch some porn if you're that horny. You go to brothels. You have lived experience. I don't like. And the crazier thing is like Jiraiya knew that the woman was getting jutsued because women don't usually go for him. Like, how bad do you have to be that you're such a pervert that women just instinctively know not to go around you? And that's what leads to you realizing that your protege might be in a little bit of danger. Maybe, perhaps. And then you still let Sasuke get Tsukuyomi. Oh, Jesus. Moving on. I think my next point is, wow, it's the one right before Naruto. Okay, so I'm gonna say it, and people are gonna hate me for it. I don't care, because people love to brush this aside, and they like to think it's just, oh, it's funny, it's comic relief, it's humor. It was a different time. The age of consent was different back in those days. I don't care. I'm saying it now. I don't care. He's a pedophile. Yes, you can throw tomatoes, you can get mad at me, you can get upset, you can pretend like this is not a big deal, but in the manga, he literally tells Conan to come see him when she's older because she's gonna grow up to be a fine young lady. Not all the Ame kids. He singled out Conan specifically, saying that she was gonna grow up to be a beautiful young lady. And then he actually continued to go on that same terms when he saw her. It's crazy how they didn't animate that scene because they knew how bad that would make him look. Narrative framing is crazy. If you frame a character as being a good character, then all the skeezy stuff that they do suddenly is just comic relief or not that bad. It is that bad. You just weren't paying attention. Second, also, because we're on this topic of him being a pedo, Naruto. So we have if you want to go by the anime only version or if you want to go by the manga version, they're both bad. Cause in the anime version, he says he's a big pervert, but he tells Naruto that he is only going to teach him if he's in the Setsu Jutsu. Mind you, he does that in the manga too. But the reason I single out the anime version is because Naruto takes off his shirt and is trying to gather his chakra so he can start walking on water again. Jiraiya sees the seal and then tells Naruto that he has a tight, sexy little body. People have said that this was comic relief or that he was trying to distract him. Okay? So you couldn't have just said, you're pretty short for your age. Or, wow, your hair is really blonde. It reminds me of someone I know. Why do people see this moment and say, oh, it was just to distract him? My guy, you could have literally said, don't fall in the water. It's really cold. Why is this something that people think that they have to defend? And then they say, oh, well, it's anime only. All right, well, we have a manga only moment too. Yay, hooray, surprise. Isn't that wonderful? The anime and the manga both had moments to show just how disgusting this man is. So, the manga version is that there was an Omake, right? You can look it up for yourself, and I'm probably going to show it on the screen when I'm, putting this video together. If you see my notes in the video, I'm probably going to have, like, my own text that's showing up and talking. I'm probably even going to take out this little tangent, whatever. But I'm going to probably show, like, the Omake comic as it, was portrayed. But the Omake comic basically has Naruto and Jiraiya while they're on their trip, and Jiraiya has to help out Naruto cook this giant fish, right? So he sets fire to the giant fish, and Jiraiya turns over to Naruto and says, hey, you know what? I just helped you get that fish started, so you know what? You have to do the thing for me because I helped you out. And so Naruto goes into his sexy jutsu, right? But this time he's clothed. He's wearing the succubus outfit. That is where the succubus outfit comes from. Crazy work, right? Like, that is something that we see in the anime and in the manga. And that's where it comes from, is Jiraiya being disgusting, right? So after he's done with his sexy jutsu, Jiraiya says to Naruto, hey, next time, why don't you wear a thong and then have it so that your it's getting, your butt gets, it's swallowed up by your butt. I want to remind you, he's on the trip with Naruto. Some people will say, oh, well, he's like around 15, 16 in this age. Jiraiya is like a 60-year-old man. Is this something, yet again, people are going to say, oh, well, it's just non-canon. So which is it? Is it non-canon because it's an Omake and the effects of that Omake had actual ramifications in the manga? Which is it? Are you going to say because it's in the anime and it was something that was added, that it doesn't count because it was added in the anime? So which are you saying? Are you saying that the anime-only version doesn't count because you're going by the manga? Are you saying the manga version doesn't count because you're only going by the manga? Because the moment with Conan was also only in the manga too. It's painting a very clear picture about what kind of man Jiraiya is, and people don't want to pay attention to that. Like, and it transitions me beautifully into the next talking point, which is Jiraiya failed Naruto. He failed Naruto. Like, this isn't me hyperbolizing or going on and on or just trying to make a big stink about it. He literally failed that kid. I want to remind you, with the past examples I just talked about with the sexy jutsu and stuff, Jiraiya is his godson, and on the record, he considers Naruto to be his grandson. He knew his dad, Minato, and saw him as a son, and yet he still did that to Naruto. He was with Naruto for 2.5 to 3 years.
Jiraiya is the one that told Naruto to stop focusing on his chakra control. Jiraiya is the one that told Naruto to stop focusing on his chakra control. I feel like I need to say this a third time so that y'all really hear me. Jiraiya told Naruto not to focus on his chakra control. It was so bad, the Sage of Six Paths, one of his powers was freaking chakra control. Let that sink in. Jiraiya literally told Naruto to do whatever he needed to as though like he was going to die. And then he shoved him off a cliff with no way to get back up in the hopes that Naruto would be able to summon up the Kyuubi's chakra so that he could summon Gamabunta. You know that he wouldn't need it to do that if you actually trained him instead of looking at women's bodies and, let him learn some chakra control. Like maybe he would actually be able to control the amount of chakra he uses to summon a toad. I completely forgot about this. I forgot. How can I forget about this? If Naruto doesn't have good control over his chakra, he literally has like an ocean's worth of chakra. It's so much to the point of where it's stupid. He's having his chakra every time he makes a clone. Every time he makes a clone, he's having his chakra. And he makes them like he's throwing a bag of pennies for his millions. He was throwing out QB chakra like it was a stimulus check to every single ninja in the war. And one of the powers that he gets for his Sage of Six Paths is chakra control. Why didn't he teach him that? Why didn't he teach him Sage Mode? He had him for 2.5 to 3 years. Oh my God.
Explain to me. Because, so I know I'm not tripping. Why did he come to Naruto 12 or 13 years later? He didn't make sure that the village was taking care of him. He didn't make sure he was okay. This is his godson, and someone can argue, oh, well, he told him not to make him his godfather. Okay, who else is Naruto gonna ask? Hiruzen? If you're going by the anime version, we already know that was a bad deal. That was bad news. He literally did nothing for that boy. He gave him some rent money and just enough for food and said, hey, you got it. You got it. Go ahead. Get on with your business. What? Who are my parents? Who was my family? Where did I come from? You don't even know that. Stop asking me questions. Bye. Like, that was the worst possible outcome. He didn't even know who Jiraiya was. That's the crazy thing. That's his godson, and Naruto didn't even know who Jiraiya was. And you could have said, oh, well, that's because Naruto doesn't pick up a history book to look up who the historical figures in the Leaf are. He shouldn't have to do that in order to know who his godfather is. I argue that he should know who his godfather, who he's been entrusted to, is. He should know who that is. That nothing anyone ever says in order to defend Jiraiya ever makes him sound good, is the crazy thing. They'll say, that's my goat, and then every piece of argument that they have makes him sound worse. How do you roast the person you're defending with your argument? I don't get it. And then it's even worse is he took Naruto on a training trip for 3 years, and he didn't teach him anything really. He got a slightly bigger Rasengan, some taijutsu basics, and I'm going to put air quotations around this, the ability to break out of genjutsu. I don't think we have ever seen Naruto successfully break out of a genjutsu in the entire series before and after Jiraiya. Like, it is bad. And I mean, shoot, we have the last to prove that he never broke out of a genjutsu. I'm not going to get into the last, but we can say he never broke out of a genjutsu in that, because everyone wants to talk about that's how we got his girl. He did not break out of that genjutsu. So, irregardless of what you think about Jiraiya, honestly, I want to hear in the comments what you guys think, because I think it's very interesting that this is a character people seem to love, but then whenever you bring up his faults, like, suddenly everybody has an explanation that makes him sound somehow worse. I will give Jiraiya his props for one thing with Naruto, though. He took him out of that village. If Naruto stayed in that village, I don't think he would have been the kind, forgiving person he still was. And you can argue, oh, well, he had his friends. They only started to respect him after the Chunin exams. Like, they weren't friends up until that point. They were just ex-classmates. Like, besides Sasuke and Iruka, right? Because in the manga, there is no Ichiraku Ramen. There's no Ichiraku Ramen in the manga. He's doing this all on his own. So, Naruto needed to be out of the village. That was the best thing Jiraiya could have done for him. He didn't really teach him much, but dear God, he saved his mental state. At the cost of what, considering he literally had to turn into a naked girl in order to get any sort of training, and the anime doubles down on this. So it doesn't matter if you're going by the anime or the manga version, like it's very clear on what kind of man Jiraiya is. The kind that's gonna burn in hell. That's why they couldn't find his body for the 4th Great Ninja War. He sank down into the bottom of the river and found himself in the fiery pits. I don't know what to tell you. That's just where he's at. So that's my summary of Jiraiya. Everyone loves to talk about how great he was and what he did for the village, and but I guess I just got tired of going on the forum threads and wanting to genuinely talk about the characters in Naruto and just seeing all this unrepentant glaze and love for a character that really does not contribute to much of anything. So this is Vibes with Vani. Hope you enjoyed it. The comment sections are open. So I mean, if you want to flame me, go ahead. I'm not going to respond to that, but I'll still like your comment because you commented. Give me a like if you liked it. Give me a dislike if you think I'm full of shit. But hey, this is just me talking, and I wanted to get it out there. So this is my expose of Jiraiya.